1. Introduction. My name is Viola. I am 49 years old. My daughter is Jen. She is 27 years old. Jen is very important to me. She is everything to me. We have always been very close. We talk about almost everything in our lives. We share our thoughts and feelings. Jen was always a good girl. She is smart and she is kind. She is a wonderful daughter, and I love her very much. But recently, I see a change in her. It is a clear change that I feel every day. She seems happy, yes, but it is a quiet happiness. It feels like a secret happiness that she keeps inside. Her eyes look bright and shiny with a new light in them, but she does not share the reason for this happiness with me. She spends more time with her phone than before. I often see her smiling at messages on her phone, and sometimes she laughs quietly. She also goes out more often now, especially in the evenings. When I ask where she is going, she tells me she is meeting her friends. I ask her, "Are you seeing someone special, Jen? Is there a new person in your life?" She looks a little shy, and sometimes she blushes a little when I ask. She says, "Maybe, Mum, it's not serious yet, just seeing someone." But she does not give me a name. She does not tell me anything about this person. This is new. Jen usually tells me everything about her life, her friends, and her feelings. One day, I see she has a new necklace. It is a beautiful necklace. It looks expensive, like real gold or silver with a small stone. Jen does not have much extra money for things like this from her job. I ask her, "Where did you get that beautiful necklace, dear? It is very pretty." She says, "Oh, it was just a gift." She does not say who gave it to her or why someone gave her such a nice gift. I start to feel a small worry in my heart. It is a new feeling for me about Jen. It is like a little stone inside me, and it is starting to grow bigger every day. This is where my story starts. It is a story about a mother's deep love for her daughter, and it is about a small worry that is starting to grow stronger because of these changes. I do not understand what is happening with Jen. I feel a shift in our lives and in her life. It is like the first shadow that comes when the sun is still shining brightly on a clear day. Something important is different now, and I do not know what it is, but it makes me worry. 2. A new secret. My worry grew bigger. One evening, Jen left her phone on the kitchen table. She went to her room. The phone screen lit up. A message came. I saw a name. "George," the message said. "Thinking of you, my love. Can't wait for our next secret meeting." Secret meeting. My heart felt a cold feeling. Why was it a secret? Who was this George? I knew it was not right to look at Jen's phone, but I needed to know. My need was very strong. I took my computer. I looked for George and the name of Jen's work. I found a photo. It was a man. He looked handsome. He was older than Jen. Was this him? My hands were shaking a little. I looked more. I found his page on social media. What I saw made my blood feel cold. My heart felt like a heavy stone. George was married. There were many pictures, pictures of him and a woman smiling together. It was his wife. Her name was Sarah. They looked happy in the pictures, and there was more, pictures of children, their children. George had a family, a wife and children. My good girl Jen was seeing a married man, a man with a family. It was a terrible truth. I did not want to believe it. How could this happen, my daughter involved in something so wrong? I felt sick inside. It was too painful to think about. My mind did not want to accept it, but the pictures were there. The messages were there. The secret was out, but only for me. I sat there for a long time just looking at the pictures, the happy family, and thinking about Jen. My Jen, what was happening? This was a secret I did not want to find. It was a secret that felt like a dark cloud. 3. Jen's big news. Viola waited for Jen to come home that evening. Her heart felt very heavy in her chest. She held Jen's phone in her hand. The message from George was still there on the screen. Viola knew she had to talk to Jen about it. She had to understand. When Jen walked through the door, Viola was waiting. She held out the phone. "Jen," she said softly, trying to keep her voice calm. "Can you tell me about this message? From George, it says my love and secret meeting." Jen looked at the phone, then at her mother. Her face quickly changed. First, she looked scared, like a child caught doing something wrong. Then her eyes became hard and angry. "It's nothing, Mum," she said quickly, too quickly. "Just a friend sending a silly message." "It doesn't sound like a silly message from just a friend, Jen," Viola said. "Please, tell me the truth. Who is George, and why does he talk about secret meetings?" Jen looked away. She was quiet for a long moment. Viola waited, her heart beating fast. Then the words came out of Jen, fast and in a low voice. "Okay, yes, it's George. He is married." Viola felt a sharp pain like a knife in her chest. "Married?" she whispered. The terrible truth she had found on the internet was real. "But Mum," Jen said, her voice getting louder. "He loves me. He truly loves me. He is going to leave his wife for me. He told me his marriage is not good. They are unhappy together." Viola looked at her daughter. It was difficult. She did not see the Jen she had raised. It was like looking at a stranger with Jen's face. "Jen, darling," Viola said again, trying hard to stay calm and gentle. "Please listen to me. Men who are married, they often say things like that. They say they will leave, but often they lie. He has a wife, Jen. He has children. You are part of something that is hurting a family. And Jen, I am so afraid you will get hurt very badly too." Jen started to cry. Tears ran down her face. Her voice was full of pain and anger. "You don't understand," she cried loudly. "It's different with us. George is special. Our love is special. You don't know him." They started to argue then. It was their first really big fight, words flying between them like stones. Jen shouted, "You just want me to be unhappy. You don't want me to be with someone I love." Viola cried, her own voice shaking. "No, Jen, that's not true. I want you to be safe. I want you to be happy, but truly happy, not caught in a lie. I want you to do the right thing. This is not right, Jen." Jen did not listen anymore. She turned quickly and ran out of the living room. Viola heard her feet on the stairs and then the sound of a door closing hard. Viola stood alone in the quiet house. Her heart felt like a heavy, cold stone in her chest. This secret, this man George, was causing a big problem between her and her daughter. A problem that was hurting both of them deeply. Viola just wanted her daughter to be happy and safe, not lost in a difficult and wrong situation. She hoped with all her heart that Jen would listen to her mother's words before the situation became even worse. But right now, they felt very far apart. The air between them was thick with unspoken words and pain. His nice words. The days after our argument were difficult. A strange quietness filled our home. It felt cold between Jen and me. She spent most of her time outside the house, usually with George. When Jen did talk about George, she just stated facts, like sharing news. She told me his promises as if they were definite plans. "George says he is talking to a lawyer this week," she would say. Another time, she said, "George says he will tell Sarah, his wife, very, very soon." I listened, but my heart felt heavy. I knew these words were likely just words to keep Jen happy. I tried to speak gently. "Jen," I said, "are you sure? Sometimes people promise things they cannot do or do not want to do." I tried to explain that married men might say anything to keep someone like her. But she would not listen. She truly believed George meant every word. Jen also told me how wonderful George made her feel. "Mom, he buys me beautiful things," she said, showing me a new bracelet. "He takes me to lovely restaurants, places I never went before," she said. "He makes me feel important and beautiful. He says I am special, different from anyone he has ever known." It was painful to hear her. I wanted her to feel special, but not because of a man who was lying to his family. One afternoon, I saw George with my own eyes. He came to our house to pick Jen up. He drove a very fancy, dark car. He got out and smiled. His smile was easy, like a smooth stone. But when I looked into his eyes, they did not look kind or warm. They looked empty, or perhaps just very cold. I felt a strange feeling, a warning in my stomach. I did not trust him. I worried constantly. My mind was always thinking about Jen and George. What should I do? Should I call George's wife, Sarah? It felt like a terrible thing to do. I did not want to hurt her. But if I did not, maybe Jen would get hurt even more in the end. It was a difficult thought. I felt very alone with my worry. I decided to talk to Jen's best friend, Lisa. Lisa was a good, sensible girl. I met her for coffee and told her everything. Lisa looked very worried too. She said, "Viola, I have tried to talk to Jen. I told her I think George is not good for her, but she just gets angry and says I don't understand." Knowing Lisa felt the same helped a little, but it also showed me how deep Jen was in this. I also tried to find out more about George myself. I asked people who might know him through work or friends. I learned that he was a manager at a large company. People said he was very successful, but I also heard things about his personal life. People said he was a ladies' man, someone who liked having relationships with different women. This made my heart sink even lower. It sounded like he was not a good man, and that Jen was just one of many. The worry was like a heavy weight on my chest. It was hard to breathe sometimes. I could not sleep well at night. My thoughts were too loud. I lost my desire to eat. All I could do was hope and pray that Jen would see the truth before it was too late. 5. People are talking. In our small town, people started talking. It began slowly, like a quiet wind. Then it grew stronger. Someone saw Jen and George together. They were in a restaurant far from our town. They saw them holding hands. The news traveled fast. The whispers came to me. People looked at me differently. They said things like, "Did you hear about Viola's daughter?" My face felt hot with shame. I felt bad for myself, yes, but I felt more pain for Jen. This talk was bad for her name, for her future. But Jen did not seem to care about the talk. She still believed in George. She said to me, "Let them talk, Mum. Their words do not matter. Our love is strong, it is real." I saw that her old friends called her less and less. She was becoming alone. She spent her time thinking about George or waiting for him. The world felt smaller for her. Then the day came that I knew might come. The phone rang in my house. I picked it up. A woman's voice spoke. Her voice was shaking. She was crying. "Is this Viola?" she asked. "Are you Jen's mother?" "Yes," I said. My hand holding the phone was not steady. The woman said, "This is Sarah." My world stopped. Sarah, George's wife. She was crying hard now. "Your daughter," she said. "Your daughter is trying to hurt my family. She is trying to take my husband. She is hurting my children." I did not know what to say. I felt many things at once. Shame for Jen. Anger at George for doing this to everyone. Sadness for Sarah and her children. And a big, cold fear for my own daughter. I wanted to help Sarah, but what could I say? I felt weak. I just said, "I am so sorry, I knew," but I could not stop Jen. It felt like not enough. 6. The bad end. After George's wife learned the truth, everything changed very fast. His wife was very angry and sad. She talked to George about Jen and their secret time. Then George talked to Jen, but his words were not the same words from before. He told Jen he could not leave his family now. He said his wife was very unhappy and his children needed him. He told Jen that maybe it was not so serious for him. Maybe he said it was just a short time together, not real love for his future. He did not say sorry for the lies. Or maybe he just stopped calling Jen. He did not answer her phone calls anymore. He stopped sending messages back to her. He blocked her number so she could not call him or send messages to him. George was gone from her life very quickly. Jen felt terrible. Her heart broke into many pieces. She did not know what to do or think. All the nice words George said before were not true. All his promises about a future with her were gone like smoke in the wind. She felt very, very sad and alone. She felt lost and empty inside. She called me. Her voice was shaking and full of tears. She cried and cried on the phone. She cried, "Mum, George." He lied, she cried. He lied about everything he told me. He said he loved me. He said he would leave his wife for me. It was all lies. She came back to my house. She did not look like my happy Jen from before. She looked like a shadow of herself. Her eyes were not bright like before. They looked empty and dark and full of pain. She felt very bad inside her heart and her head. For many days and nights, she just cried. She sat on the sofa or in her room and just cried. She said, "I was so stupid, Mum." She said it many times. How could I be so stupid? How could I believe him? He was a bad man. She said, "He never loved me. It was not real love for him. I was just something else." She said, "You were right, Mum. You tried to tell me the truth, but I did not listen to you. You were right all the time about him." The beautiful things George gave her did not look nice anymore. The expensive necklace, the clothes, the other gifts, they looked cheap and ugly to her now. They were just things from a lie. They made her feel sick when she saw them. She did not want them. She felt so much shame for everything. She thought about what people in town said. She thought about George's wife, Sarah, and her children. She felt very bad about that too. She felt like a very bad person. She did not want to eat food. She did not want to go outside the house. She just wanted to hide from the world. The pain in her heart was very big. It was a terrible time for her. She felt like her life was broken. All her dreams about a future with George were gone. They were never real dreams. 7, we healed together. I held my daughter close in my arms. She cried for a long, long time. Tears fell like rain. I did not say one word like, "I told you so." Not even a little bit. My only words were soft and full of love. "I am here, my darling," I said. "I am always here for you, no matter what has happened." We sat together for many hours, just holding each other or talking quietly. Jen started to tell me everything that happened with George. She told me all the nice, smooth words he used to make her believe him. She told me about the future he promised them, a future that was never real. She explained how he made her feel so special, like she was the most important person in the world. She told me how he lied about his wife, Sarah, and his plan to leave his family. It was very clear that George had planned to trick her from the start. My heart burned with anger towards George for hurting my daughter so much. He was a cruel, dishonest man, but my focus was only on Jen. She felt broken inside, and she needed all my love and help to heal. Healing was a very slow journey for Jen. It did not happen quickly. Each day was a small step. Jen felt very, very bad about herself. She felt deep shame for being in that situation. She felt foolish because she believed George's many lies. She felt worthless, like she was not a good person or that no one would ever truly love her. I told her again and again with all my heart, "You are not stupid, Jen. You are a wonderful, good person. George was a bad man who tricked you. He used your kind heart and your feelings against you. You loved him, and that is okay. Many people make mistakes in love. The important thing is to learn from this and become stronger." I worked hard to help her remember how amazing she is. I talked about her talents, her intelligence, her deep kindness. We spent quiet time together, just the two of us. We went for slow walks outside in the fresh air, watching the trees and the sky. We cooked simple, warm food together in the kitchen, things we both liked. These small, normal things helped us feel connected and safe, just for a little while each day. It was different from before, but it was good to be together. Slowly, her old friends started to call her again. Her best friend, Lisa, came to visit often. Lisa and other friends did not talk about George or the past. They just talked about other things, about work, about movies, about their lives. They laughed with Jen. They showed her that they still loved her and wanted to be her friend. This support from her friends was very, very important for her healing. Jen started to feel less alone in her pain. Step by step, day by day, she began to feel a little bit better, a little bit stronger. The heavy sadness slowly started to lift from her shoulders. We were healing, and we were doing it together, side by side. 8. Looking forward. Jen learned many important things from this time. She learned about men who are not kind or honest. She learned about herself, about being too trusting. She learned what true love and respect mean and what they do not mean. It was a very hard lesson for her. I also learned lessons. It was difficult to watch my daughter make a big mistake. I felt like I could not help her. But I learned that sometimes a mother can only be there. Be there to catch her child when she falls down, and I was there for Jen. Our connection, the bond between Jen and me, was very difficult. It was broken a little bit. But now it is stronger. We talked about everything. We helped each other. Slowly, step by step, Jen started to feel better. She started to smile again. Her smile was real this time. She started to focus on her work. She spent time with her good friends again. She worked to make herself strong again. I know that the sad things will always be a part of us, like scars on the heart. For me and for Jen, but I feel hope now. I have hope for Jen's future. I believe that one day Jen will meet a good man, a man who is kind and honest, a man who will love her truly and openly, not with secrets, and I will be here. I am her mother. I will watch over her life. My heart is full of love for her. There is still a little bit of that old worry because I am a mother. But mostly I feel thankful. This difficult time, this painful fight, it brought my daughter back to me, and it brought her back to herself. For that, I am very, very thankful.